Third down and 4. Howell in trouble, and down he goes. Jones throws, end zone shot. It's caught by Hawkins for a touchdown. Here comes the pressure. Pinnock on a blitz, and the Giants get there. Four-man rush this time. Taylor taking a deep shot behind. Separation. Third and goal. Taylor to the end zone. Touchdown! With Barkley back at tailback, they hand Jones edge. Touchdown Giants. And a nice aid that bad last stop, so he's back in there. 4th down and 7. Play action from DeVito. End zone. Catch is made. Touchdown. Isaiah Hodgins. The end zone, and let's make sure the catch is good. And it's points off the turnover by Keyshawn Nixon. Family section. And his agent. This guy, the agent may break the internet.
The heck's going on?
They having kisses everywhere.
DeVito Mania is officially over in East Rutherford. And the Giants' playoff chances are over to an unfortunate end to a Christmas day. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Backup podcast. I'm Nate. That's Brian. Here to my right, Brian. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. This is the day after Christmas, so some of us are still catching up on sleep or hungover. I am
both. Not
the latter, but I am the former because still lacking on sleep. But how about you, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm both right now. Wild day. Well, it's been a wild couple days here.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Well, I hope you're well, dude. It's nice to have you back. I know we missed you on a couple episodes last week, which is completely fine. It's Christmas break. You know, it's completely understandable. We're just glad to see you back, man. And I think without further ado, we might as well get started. First order of business, the New York Giants, a team that we've covered since mid-season, with our first game being our first episode being the Raiders game. They've come a long way. We have our ups and downs, mostly downs, but we've enjoyed the winning streak the Giants had with the Commanders and the Patriots and the Packers. Last week's loss to the Saints, it was like, okay, well, the Giants have to somehow win this Eagles game to somehow stay in contention for a playoff spot. And unfortunately, all good things come to an end. And Mr. Wilson, happy day after Christmas, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. But yeah, honestly, for us, a bit of a struggle yesterday in terms of watching that game because the Eagles were very beatable last night. Yeah, and we just couldn't get the job done. So, well, let's might as well dive into it. The Giants, 33-25 was the final score. The big story out of the game before we even, dive into the other specifics was that Tommy DeVito had a lackluster first half and was benched in favor of Tyrod Taylor for the second half. I think I might as well start with you, Brian. That was kind of concerning, correct?
Yeah.
The fact that DeVito was benched, and might as well go ahead and give your thoughts on that and if that was a good idea in the first place.
No, it probably was. I think teams have figured out Tommy DeVito. I feel like every time there's a new quarterback in there, there's always a lack of tape on it. And the only tape you can watch at DeVito was him at Illinois and Syracuse. I think teams like the Saints and Eagles, and the Eagles have had our number for a decade now, especially figuring out our quarterbacks. They were the one to figure out Daniel Jones last season. Now they figured out Tommy DeVito. I think they watched the film, came up with a great game plan. And that's just a lot for me complimenting the Eagles here. They figured out Tommy's weaknesses, and they forced him to do it, and that made him have that lackluster first half. So bring in Tyrod Taylor, someone they're not prepared for, and I think we saw in the second half a Giants team that probably should have won that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, DeVito being benched in the first half, that was kind of something I agree with. With what Talking Giants, or our favorite podcast that we love listening to, and the main Giants podcast out there, they were talking about how, when Tyrod Taylor was healthy, ready to go last week, right, against the Saints, or against the Packers, I should say, and they were going to roll with DeVito anyways. if you're gonna roll with DeVito, you gotta stick with him because that just shows the locker room, hey, even despite the fact that Giants still have a shot at the playoffs, you believe in the young gun or the hot hand, as Talking Giants talked about, compared to what the veteran guy who you would think would be the better guy to lead the team to wins. And let's be honest, I feel like Tyrod Taylor would have still beaten the Packers if he was in there.
Yeah, probably.
DeVito had a good game regardless. But we can't just sit here and say, "Oh, Tyrod could not have done the same." Like I'm sure there were times where DeVito messed up or may have not read a play correctly. I'm saying, for example, and Taylor would have done that against the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying is like, okay, Packers game's done. Then we have the Saints, right? DeVito didn't look too good either. You can blame the offensive line, but Taylor could have played better than what DeVito did. It was like 100 something yards passing, but not the best. Had an interception there too. And then also for this game against the Eagles, right? Out the gate, DeVito was 9 of 16 for 55 yards. Do the math, not the best yards per pass.
3.4 yards per average.
There you go. And you put Tyrod back in. You put Tyrod in the game. Went 7 of 16, 133 yards. Had a touchdown. The beautiful ball to Darius Slayton on the sideline that put the Giants within one possession. But other than that, that was kind of all Tyrod could do. Because let's be honest, like they had chances to win, man. The Giants really did.
No, they did.
And do you feel like if Tyrod was in there earlier, like if he started the game, that the Giants would have won?
I think they have a better shot at winning. I definitely think that because I don't. It stinks, but I think DeVito has regressed in the past. We saw last week against the Saints. He was not the same quarterback he was Monday night against Green Bay. And we saw in the first half of this game of him struggling. The Giants have competent play in that first half of that game, and the Giants win this game. I think if anyone else is back there that could throw a football, manage this offense well, the Giants are winning. Which this is a complete different story right now. Is we're looking at Week 18 like this is a very, very winnable game. But unfortunately, we're here talking elimination and the pressing need that the Giants do need a quarterback, or to at least figure out the future at quarterback situation soon. Because it's not DeVito, it's not Taylor. Jury's probably still out Daniel Jones. We're sitting at 5, and there's a quarterback that's going to be there at 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Right now, it's like thinking about like a couple weeks ago, right? We were talking about, if DeVito were to be the starter and he plays well the rest of the year, hell, maybe he is battling for the starter job next year. Tyrod's on an expiring contract. You bring DeVito back. You can compete with Daniel Jones. And if Jones isn't ready to go, you put DeVito in and say, hey, DeVito knows the system. He played well last season. And I'm talking about if we were into next year already.
Right, yeah.
That DeVito played well last year. Maybe he can still be the starter until DJ comes back. And then so on and so forth. And then all we need to do is just have weapons around him in offensive line and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like you said, DeVito has kind of fallen off a little bit. And you made a great point saying, okay, there's film on him now. That goes with every player. But DeVito, there's a reason why he was undrafted. There's a reason why he was QB3 to start the year. That's why they didn't put him ahead of Tyrod Taylor when the first chance they had. Which was against the Buffalo Buffalo Bills game. So look, even with if Tyrod Taylor was healthy for say the Jets game or the game against the Saints last week. If
Tyrod Taylor was healthy for the Jets game, we probably beat the Jets that game. The Giants were in control that entire game. It wasn't until DeVito came in and the Giants just stopped throwing the football and the Jets were able to take the lead.
Mm-hmm. And it's very predictable, right? Because if you know that, okay, they're not going to throw it. We just got to stack the box, and that's why Saquon had just know where to go.
Exactly.
Sure, you could argue that DeVito's play improved over the next few weeks, but then
it definitely did. He definitely became a better quarterback every single week. It just like we reached the peak of the Green Bay game. Now we're on the downward for DeVito.
And
I think water. We always say like water finds this level. I think we're finding the level with DeVito right now. It's okay. He can show flashes, but he's not he's not a starter in this league. He's not going to be a Brock Purdy type where he comes out of nowhere you build this unbelievable offense around him, and he could be in the MVP category. That's not going to happen with this kid.
Yeah, I mean, we would like to think that he could be a Brock Purdy. Yeah, I mean, it would solve a lot of issues and not have to worry about one position in the draft. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Even with his success, we knew inside of our hearts that, okay, he's not the guy still, because maybe this is just a lucky run. There's a reason why he was undrafted. His arm isn't the best for the NFL level. I mean, it could be, maybe it could get stronger and he just needs an offseason to work out and whatnot. But at this point in time, it's just the Giants. It's been clear all season long. It's even clearer now. The Giants are going to get a quarterback in the draft. And as much as Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll don't want to talk about it or even mention it at all, as much as they want to give hope to Daniel Jones, hell, I'm sure the owner now, John Mara, is thinking to himself, okay, yeah, we really need a quarterback number one. I got to move on from DJ. The Giants are moving on. It's clear already enough. Like, there's no reason to I don't know how to say it, sprinkle it with any pixie dust. I don't know how to say it. The point is,
the magic's over. There's no more magic. It's have Joe Schoen do what he was brought in to do, which is rebuild this roster. Don't try to rebuild to be competitive. The Giants have pieces. If they commit to a rebuild for a season or two, we can be challenging for the NFC East in 2025, 2026.
And that's the main goal. Like, just we want to compete. We have to compete now. Last season was great. We made the playoffs. Hallelujah. But, like, right now,
it's over. Every NFL team does it. There's overachievers and underachievers. Last year, the Giants clearly overachieved. Now we're seeing what this roster really, really should have done last year.
Exactly, which was, rebuild completely. Unfortunately, that's not the case for those of who wanted the Giants to tank, because obviously they played well enough in one-score games to make it to the postseason. But now we've seen, like, the consequences of, okay, overachieving, like you just said. The roster is pretty much the same as last year with just a few more pieces. But these pieces weren't enough to propel the Giants to the postseason this season. So, as much as we like to praise guys like Deontay Banks and John Michael Schmitz and so on and so forth, we still have guys like, say, a Jalen Hyatt or a Trey Hawkins III that we expected to play well. And they've had their moments at times, mostly Hyatt compared to Hawkins. But it just goes to show the Giants have a lot of things to work on. They have a lot
and I give a pass to Hyatt because they're just not using him in this offense. Like, I think yesterday he was targeted. I don't even see where he is targeted. He didn't even pop up on the stat sheet. I don't think he was targeted at all yesterday.
I don't think he was targeted at all, actually. No. I mean, 0 catches, 0 targets. Mr. Wilson Kevin says it's unfortunate that Magic ran out after they gave that contract to Daniel Jones.
At least for us, that Joe Schoen is such a smart GM that we can get out of it next year, that it is still like a 2-year deal. But no, you're right. It is unfortunate that the Magic ran out after we gave Daniel Jones $40 million a year.
Yeah. I mean, I was really excited. I'm sure you were too.
Yeah.
I was excited when they gave DJ that contract. I was like, hey, see, guys, like, see all you haters out there, like, DJ is the future. He just led us to the playoffs. He's going to grow next year. All we need is some weapons around him, and we got supposedly got him.
I was a big DJ believer. I hated the draft pick when we picked him at the time. When I watched him his first preseason, I'm like, okay, this kid has something. If he can get in the right system, there's something here.
And his rookie season was
from all year, but 5 years I have not seen it. I need a proven winner now. And you're just, how many more chances can I give you?
Yeah, I mean, his rookie season was we talked about before, but, like, it gave us a glimpse of what we could expect from him. Like, hey, maybe he can lead us to the promised land or at someday. But no matter how many offensive coordinators, head coaches you've gone through, you got to figure it out. And I'm sorry, but when you're an NFL quarterback, you got to figure it out. You got to adapt. You got to improve every year, and Jones hasn't done that regardless of the weapons you have around him. We've complained about that a lot in the past, so like no weapons and offensive line. But you got to figure it out at some point. You got to throw more than 19 touchdowns a season. You got to, throw less than 10 interceptions a season. you
Your
gotta.
game needs to improve in other aspects. You can't just keep, well, I don't have any receivers. Yeah, well, a lot of quarterbacks in this league don't have good receivers right now, and they're doing fine. And Patrick Mahomes is sure having his worst season, but you would still argue he's a top 5 quarterback this year.
Exactly. And we'll talk about the Chiefs later, by the way, because I have major concerns about them. Um, but I think the main question is, at this time, before we switch over to the defensive side of the ball, is who do you even start the rest of the way?
I think it's Tyrod the rest of the way. I really do.
Because you can't just go back to DeVito and say,
No.
okay, well, my fault. We benched you. We just felt like we couldn't win with you in this game. But hey, hope we'll throw you back out there and try to beat the Rams. No, right?
Can't do that. No,
you can't do that. So.
You need to keep this locker room, and by doing that, it's playing for pride and putting yourself in the best position to win. The Giants' best position to win is to have Tyrod Taylor out there. You can show this team that, hey, we might be a bad team, but I'm still trying to do everything I can to win. Tyrod Taylor's our quarterback. We're not going to stick with DeVito, who clearly his magic has run out, which stinks because Tommy DeVito, I almost bought Madden to create a Madden franchise with him and have him be the quarterback of the future.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that them switching to Tyrod now is kind of a bad message, though? Because do you feel like they should have done that a few weeks ago against Green Bay? Because I'm sure this locker room kind of knew, like, hey, Tyrod's a better choice, but you're just riding with the hot hand in DeVito and going.
Not really, because like I said, you're riding with the hot hand, and hey, we're winning with DeVito. Why are we gonna mess that up right now? Because we got Tyrod Taylor back. I love Tyrod Taylor, but no offense, he's not like a top quarterback in this league. Him returning is kind of a nothing. So let's ride with the hot hand. It's working. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, now DeVito's quote unquote broken, and Daboll's trying to fix it with Tyrod Taylor. That I think sends a stronger message to the locker room that we're committed to winning despite how bad we're playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, they should have done Tyrod, earlier. I feel like the locker room believed in Tyrod more than Vito, but hey, they just had to just roll with the punches, I guess, with DeVito. So, but these are the consequences you get when you go with someone that's undrafted over a proven veteran.
Yeah, it's a gamble. It's a gamble that was paying off, and unfortunately didn't work out in the end. It happens.
Exactly. Yeah. So, as we shift over to Saquon Barkley, 23 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown. He was pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, he looked better. Made me feel better after back-to-back bad weeks. I know, like Green Bay, he came alive in the second half, but he was struggling the first half in Green Bay, and then just looked lost last week. I really was starting to get concerned with Saquon Barkley, but this week temper those concerns a little bit.
Yeah, same here. Darius Slayton sort of made a case for why he should be back next year, despite the fact that many people like myself think he should be cut. 3 catches, 90 yards, a touchdown. Most of those yards came from that, deep pass from Tyrod Taylor. Other than that, everyone was pretty silent. Daniel Bellinger had 4 catches for 43 yards. Darren Waller got hurt again on that last drive, which is fucking ridiculous because this guy cannot stay healthy. And even when he's on the field, all he does is fucking get cardio, it seems like. So, Wandale.
Do you want Waller back next year?
No.
No? Yeah, me neither.
I'm tired of it, dude.
He was a nice – I love the move. I love, like, how it's, it's creative because we couldn't get a wide receiver number 1. So, hey, we'll pick up this tight end who has potential to be a great tight end, but there's no guarantee, and he's an easy way to cut him because there's no dead cap if we cut him this year. We'd be out.
There's no point in. I mean, I'm sure he'll be back next year, but if you ask me, I'd cut him because for what? Like, what has he done for us? Like, literally nothing. And could you blame quarterback play? Sure, but seriously, like, especially the past couple years in with the Raiders, like you saw him get hurt consistently, and it was just like we were holding on to the hope that when he had that healthy season in Vegas or Oakland, he was doing pretty good. But the last seasons with the Raiders after that, he was pretty injury prone, and we saw that firsthand this season, despite the fact that many of us had hope when the Giants played in the preseason against the Panthers. It was just Jones to Waller, Jones to Waller, Jones to Waller. and it was just beautiful to see. But unfortunately, Waller has not even been close to replicating that at all.
And the injuries they're going to get worse as he gets as he gets older. He's 30. He's going to be 32 next year.
Mhm.
He's got what people believe is a chronic nerve injury in his hamstring, so that's only going to get worse with age. Like right now, we have an out to clean our hands with him. I say take it and build the offense somewhere else. Daniel Bellinger is a fine tight end for a couple seasons. You can do that until you find an actual tight end number one, or maybe Bellinger develops into a tight end number one. We have to wait and see. But I love Waller. Wish it would have worked out here. I think the experiment's over.
Yeah, I think we need like a Jeremy Shockey type of guy again. And Waller isn't that guy. So other than that, Jalen Hyatt once again underutilized at all, like 0 catches, 0 targets. So yeah, this whole offense needs to be fucking fixed because no way we're having Hyatt, one of our best playmakers on the team, by far with his speed and everything, 0 catches, and you could just think about how Hyatt feels in this situation, knowing that he can make plays, but the Giants are like, hell no, you're not doing shit for us. So whatever. Defensively, statistically it doesn't really show, but they played pretty decent.
Yeah, I played a fine day yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts threw for over 300 yards, a 1 touchdown, 1 pick. That pick 6 by Dory Jackson, I put the Giants back in the game. DeAndre Swift started off slow, then heated up the rest of the way. 92 yards rushing to lead the team on 20 carries with a tutty. Hurts push touchdown. Well, we're not even surprised. And Devontae Smith, AJ Brown did their thing.
Boston Scott didn't score a touchdown.
That was nice to see. Up. I was just gonna bring that up. Boston Scott didn't score on us. He had only 1 carry for 3 yards. So a bit different this game for sure for the Giants and Eagles. In terms of the Boston Scott situation, but other than that, Eagles they have their way offensively, man, and there's no way around it. 465 total yards compared to the Giants 292, 6.3 yards per play for Philly compared to 4.9 for the Giants. Eagles had 28 first downs, which is twice as much as the Giants did. Man, they dominated time of possession by a good margin.
Yeah, it just seemed like the Giants could never get the Eagles offense off the field. Every single time a third down came up, it was just, they're going to get it.
Yeah, it's
I remember one play, and me and my cousin talked about this. I forgot where in the game it was, but it was like 4th and 5 for Philly. It might have been towards the end of the game, and they were going to punt. And my cousin goes, the Eagles should go for it because the Giants have not been able to stop them all game. A first down ends this game. Why aren't you going for it? And I'm like, hey, that makes sense. If you're Philly, going for it makes total sense. The Giants to do something they haven't done all game.
I think what pissed me off the most was the 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20 or something like that. And then, obviously a long yard situation. Giants were in zone. Hurts found a spot in the corner, all down on the sideline and hit AJ Brown, I think, and that just pissed me off. I was like, bro, just make a damn stop, and obviously then helping. Eagles, their last 3 possessions were touchdown, field goal, touchdown, and this was after the pick 6 by the Giants or by the Eagles to help the Giants come within 2. But then Philly, like I said, had that touchdown to, I think it was I think it was DeAndre Swift. No, DeAndre Swift scored that rushing touchdown. And then, I'm trying to find it was the 3rd and 20, that one drive where Jalen Hurts found AJ Brown for 32 yards on the sideline, and then DeAndre Swift was running a few plays later. And after that, the Giants they tried to come close, man. They had that touchdown to Darius Slayton to make it 30-25, but Philly had the field goal the next drive to make it 30-25. And then Tyrod tried his best to lead the Giants on the field, and unfortunately, they lost. Now, a last point before we move on to the other week 16 games. Jesus, that was kind of weird when Taylor hit Waller, and no surprise, Waller got hurt.
Yeah,
but so much time was wasted, and the referee was just standing there.
Yeah, the refs were questionable yesterday. I'm not the guy to blame the officials because there's other things the Giants could have done to win the game.
Yeah.
But there's a few calls yesterday where it's like, what are we doing here? Like the Jalen Carter offsides that was very clearly offsides, but they called a false start on John Michael Smith. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, like JMS didn't false start, by the way.
No,
You can't
they
move your
claim
hand.
because he bobbed his head. I guarantee you, every single center in the NFL does that.
Yeah, like who does them out there? That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, that's normal.
You probably could watch Jason Kelce the entire game and probably count 20 times he bobbed his head.
Right. So I didn't understand that, but
Yeah, no.
that just wasted so much time because Waller was calling for a sub. He gave the ball to ref, and I was just like, "It's out the ball." And then Barkley had to sprint over to the ref, grab the ball from him, and then give it to the other ref, and that wasted a good 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Because the Giants could have spiked there, but if the ball was spotted right away, they could have spiked him. And, all right, cool, let's go. And they would have had more than 3 seconds to sort of tie this game up.
Yeah, they could have gotten a whole playoff. They could have done 2 plays. So they're just having to do the Hail Mary.
Exactly. Which Saquon tried to fall down and draw the interference, but obviously that was not interference.
Yeah, no. But the Wan'Dale Robinson one was.
Oh, 100%. Holy crap. He wasn't even looking towards the ball. I think was it Blankenship or whatever. He wasn't even looking towards the ball.
It's like if you're going to make contact, find the football. It's the biggest out you can take. While I was looking at the football and couldn't see.
Exactly. So it's just like, I don't know, man. These refs have been bad this season, and I don't know what it is. Seriously, they just continue to be like shit. And obviously, that's not
the reason
why the
every year we
Giants
have
lost.
this issue. It's like, why can't the NFL fix this problem? I feel like since 2015, it's like the refs are like worse than normal this year, and it's like every year it's like keep topping it. Like there has to be some sort of answer that we can do here. I don't know what that answer is. I don't think the league knows what that answer is, but this needs to be fixed now because officiating should not overshadow games like it has the past few years.
I agree, but obviously, like you said, not the reason why the Giants lost. A lot of other issues. Giants aren't, it just goes to show the Giants aren't ready to compete in the NFC. Despite last year's success, that's an overachievement. A lot of positions to address, and these next couple weeks will be tough because now we have nothing to really play for except pride and whatnot. So we'll do our best to cover the Giants as best we can. Well,
it's tryouts. It's basically tryouts. Do you want a job next season? Get a job.
Are you resting Saquon the rest of the way? No, right? Because the pride.
No, I wouldn't rest him, but I definitely could see him taking like maybe a step back, like maybe not getting. What he had 23 carries. Maybe I could see him getting more like 18.
Yeah, probably more carries for other guys like an Eric Gray or a Matt Breida or someone like that. Not that Breida needs a tryout, but just put the backups in it and go from there. But this season is officially over for the Giants. Officially eliminated from playoff contention at 5-10 currently, and you could just think like, hey, we go back to it before, right? The Giants beat the Saints. The Giants beat the Bills. They beat the Jets. We'd be sitting here at a different point in time, maybe at 8-7, if anything. But unfortunately, that's not the case.
Even if Giants lose to the Eagles and the Saints and beat the Bills and Jets, they're still in a much better position because they'd be 7-8. They'd be on the outside looking in, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that the Giants can make a run at this thing.
Like that would mean like the Rams game next week would actually mean something, but now it's. Yeah, we're done for. As we move on to the rest of the week 16 slate, any games stand out to you that was yesterday's game or Sunday's game or?
I think Dallas-Miami stood out a lot. I think Dallas needs the home playoff game more than any team in the league does because they just cannot win on the road. Like I remember a couple weeks ago, I'm saying I don't understand. I don't see how anyone's going to stop this Dallas offense. Well, since I said that, teams have figured it out, and the Cowboys just away from AT&T Stadium just look like a completely different ball club.
I just keep thinking to like, this is where Dallas continues to fall, regardless if they're playing at home or away. I do understand their record at home. I understand their yardage totals comparison between home and away, that they play better at home, but at the same time, playoff games require winning in difficult situations. And as much as this game against Miami wasn't a playoff game, it was still a big game to begin with. And Miami was able to pull it off on a game-winning field goal by Jason Sanders. Doesn't matter. Like, if the Cowboys were good, they would have scored more. They would have made the stops needed. They just
if the Cowboys were as good as everybody said they were, yes, the Sunday shouldn't have been a problem for them. They should have rolled over the Dolphins, because the Dolphins can't beat a good team to save their life. We've seen it all year with them.
Oh yeah, 100%. So, and that's one thing about the Dolphins too. That's the scary part, is like when they make when they're in the playoffs, which they are, can they beat a big team? And if they can't, they're going to be a first round exit and whatnot. And they still don't have a officially clinched the division. Like, the Bills are still there. Yeah. Have with the chance at the AFC East, so they got to step up their game, because when Week 18 comes around and they got the Bills, will they have
be a playoff game?
Yeah. Would they have clinched the East, or will they have to play or fight for the East? So, and to make matters worse, if they lose, if they play for the division in Week 18 and they lose, and they have to be the wild card team, they have to go on the road. Can they do it? Can they win that game in a big atmosphere, or a wild atmosphere, I should say? That's to be determined, because the 7 best teams make the playoffs, unless you're the NFC, because the Falcons or whoever wins the NFC South is not a good team.
It's the 6 in the NFC South.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll see with Miami, but both teams definitely have concerns, despite the fact that Miami wins that game. Any other games stand out to you that you want to talk about?
Baker Mayfield's making a case to be the Bucs starter next year. He's had back-to-back great weeks. He's showing the flash that we saw in his rookie year, in his second season in the league, of this guy might actually have something, because he's a decent quarterback, and he finally has weapons around him to make him better. And yes, he had weapons in Cleveland, but he had Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. No offense to those guys, great talent, but they have such big personalities, it can be a little overshadowing at times, be a little bit of a distraction. Now he just has football guys like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Those guys that just want to go out there, compete, and win. Like Mike Evans has 10 consecutive seasons of 1,000 yards, but you never hear about him getting anywhere near top receiver in the league consideration, because he's not that big, dynamic personality. He kind of just is quiet and goes about his business.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucs are still in contention for the NFC South, as weak as the division is. I think for me, the main concern was Jacksonville, because it's just like, playoff team, pretty solid weapons around, but Trevor Lawrence just continues to either get hurt or play through injury, and it's just like, what's the point now?
Are you sure Trevor Lawrence is going to be as good as he was in college as in the NFL? Like, two completely different games, and I want him to be good, but what has he shown us besides last year?
He made the playoffs last year, but just like DJ made the playoffs too. But
exactly.
Guess what?
Many quarterbacks have fluke seasons.
Lawrence had 2 interceptions, got hurt, left the game, and then CJ Beathard came in, but this wasn't enough. They just couldn't. But they're 8-7, so they're still good for playoffs. But other than that, they nothing to write home about for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Anything else before I give my games, I guess?
No, I think you give your games. Nothing that stands out too much for me.
Sure. Denver's dead?
Yeah, Denver's dead.
Denver's dead? Okay. Just want to make sure, because that was sorry, man. No one knows how to beat the Patriots but us.
Exactly. You can't. No one can beat Bill but us, because we hired Bill. We know all those tricks.
We know how it works, Mr. Belichick. Congrats to the Lions, won the division, met the playoffs. Congrats to them. Let's see what else. The Jets won some way somehow. Surprised how that happened.
That was a weird game, because I remember looking at it. It was 28-7 Jets. I'm like, wow, the Jets are going to look good. Trevor Simeon's going to have like a renaissance. That's awesome. Then, I'm still watching. And I see it on the bottom, 21-27. I'm like, oh, the Jets are going to blow this game. And then they did.
I think for me, it just shows the Commanders just suck. They continue to suck.
The
Sam
Commanders'
Howell's
defense is horrific. They can't stop Trevor Simeon from leading a game-winning drive.
dude, but the Commanders, dude, the fact that they benched Sam Howell. Same thing with the Giants, right? You bench someone you believed in for a veteran. This time for Jacoby Brissett and to replace Sam Howell. Yeah, I don't know about Sam Howell being the future, man. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I don't think you can start him the rest of the year. If you bench him for back-to-back games, I don't know how you can go out. How can you sell that to your fan base? Well, we're going to start this guy again. Well, you've had 2 straight starts with him where you thought he's not good enough to be the starter, and you benched him. How can you go for a 3rd straight week of that?
Mm-hmm.
What, so you get benched at halftime again?
Yeah, no way you put him in. It's the same with the Giants, right? Same thing with the Giants.
The Giants, same thing with the Patriots with Mac Jones. It's you clearly don't have faith in this guy. How can you run him back out there?
It's facts, man. Straight facts. I think all right, 2 more games. Raiders, Chiefs. Chiefs are done. I don't know. This is
concerning.
You could say a celebrity curse with Taylor Swift. You could say the lack of weapons around Mahomes. Kelsey isn't doing much anyways.
Yeah.
Raiders still could win the division.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Shout out Antonio Pierce. He's done a great job as interim coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten his guys. I think he's embraced the Raider mentality, the toughness and everything. And dude, Jack Jones of the cornerback for the Raiders, he's
good.
He's a character, dude. Like he don't give a shit about anyone. No, I'm serious. Like he picked off Mahomes and he was right on the sideline. And Mahomes tried to catch up. He looked back at him like, "Bitch, don't even start. You're ass.
What are you trying?
Like, what are you gonna do?" And to make it worse, he went to a Chiefs kid, the other Chiefs fan, and said, "Here you go." And I was like, "Oh, Merry Christmas, boy. You ain't getting shit from me." I was like, "Golly, this dude, he's a Raider for real." Like,
that is a Raider. That's just like the evil that Al Davis wanted to create. Like, geez, if you're gonna pretend to give a kid a football and make his entire life, and then just be like, "Nope," come on, dude, that's cold.
That kid's gonna remember that guy be like, "Oh,
that kid's gonna hate the Raiders for the rest of his life."
Oh man, I think for me this is more about the Chiefs because you have Kelsey, Rashee Rice stepping up, and screw you, Rashee, for not putting him enough fantasy points for my fantasy league. I'm out of the playoffs now because of you, or some part of it's because of you. But the point is, you only put up 14 points. One of them being Isaiah Pacheco touchdown run. I think the other was a touchdown pass to. I don't think it was Rashee.
I'm trying to remember right now.
Definitely wasn't Kelsey.
Yeah.
We're going crazy. Let's see. I'll check right now.
Box. I'm pulling the box score up right now.
Oh, you got me.
Play by play.
I'm gonna guess it was a touchdown pass to CEH because I know he had a big play.
Pacheco had a rushing touchdown, and Justin Watson with the
fuck that guy! He's so annoying.
Yeah.
The hell he in the game for? God.
Yeah, I don't know. We were watching. We thought it was Kelsey at first because we all saw it was the 8. And oh my god, Kelsey scored! My buddy, my cousin won his parlay, and I'm like,
yeah, my parlay got fucked too when Kelsey didn't score. Because I was like, bro, he has to score eventually, and he hasn't. Shit. And, hey, look, Taylor Swift was in attendance, so he could have figured it out.
Yeah, you got to show up when your girlfriend's in the stands, especially when someone as famous as Taylor Swift. You have to show up a little bit, and he's just been struggling.
Yeah.
She walks in with Santa Claus, for God's sakes.
So I think the Chiefs, the next 2 games, do you have it on there for me? The next 2 games.
Yeah, I'll pull them up right now. Against the Chiefs, they play. So they'll play the Bengals and they'll finish the season against Los Angeles.
Chargers.
Yep.
Oh, they could. Oh well.
They should be fine.
They should be fine, but if they lose next week,
We got issues because I mean, Browning was a nice story, but he looked horrific against the Steelers last week.
fair, true.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe in the Chiefs. I'm sorry.
No, I can see him making the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to be long for it. I don't think that the weapons. I think Mahomes is losing a lot of public support from the way he's acting on the field. I see him act like a baby a lot, is what people are saying, like a spoiled brat. Like I think he's going to lose that part of the fan base. I think the Chiefs have finally extended to like the villain role in the NFL, and it's going to fall apart pretty fast for them.
Yeah, things are getting, a little some frustration over there in Kansas City, and if they lose these next couple of games and the Raiders win out, they will win the division if everything goes right. So we shall see. We'll be back next week specifically for that topic in general and see what happens with Kansas City. But you said so it's the Chiefs and Bengals. And
Chiefs Bengals. 425.
Oh shit! If Browning figures it out.
Yeah. Man, the CBS would be so pissed right now. They thought they had Mahomes versus Burrow New Year's Eve at 425. They thought they had it, and nope. They have a struggling Patrick Mahomes and Jake Browning. Ugh.
Ravens
exec is just punching his desk right now. Like, come on.
I know Romo was pissed for sure. He's like, man, I was trying to talk about Mahomes and Burrow, but Romo's still good, solid commentator, but
he's lost the luster he once had. Like there were talks he was the best commentator in the league. That talk's over. He's not.
My favorite's Joe Davis.
Yeah, I like Joe Davis a lot. He does really good. He does the World Series and stuff. He's pretty good there too.
Yeah, I love it. Ravens Niners, any concerns or just a fluke game for SF?
Just a fluke game. I think it's more about the Ravens. They came to play. They were the best team in the AFC, and it was a 6-point spread against them. I think they showed a lot of teams that they are for real this year.
Yeah, I think Purdy had 4 interceptions. You could blame some of the players for that, but Purdy made some terrible fucking reads yesterday. And Baltimore should have scored more on those interceptions. Obviously, they not, but still, winning 33-19 is pretty good. Lamar Jackson continues to make his case for MVP, and
he looked good.
Yeah.
The Ravens' offense looked great yesterday. And
I
know Kyle Hamilton got banged up, but he had another game of his career yesterday. He's going to be really good in this league.
Is he going to be okay?
I think so. I haven't looked at the injury report yet on him. I don't know if he had one or not. Let's see. Kyle Hamilton. I'm also a little biased. He did go to Notre Dame for years.
Oh, yeah.
Injures knee. Ravens hopefully isn't seriously injured. That was 13 hours ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
The same doesn't look too serious, but nothing concrete yet. So hopefully it's okay.
All righty. Good news for that. Shout out to Travis and Jason Kelsey's mom, Donna Kelsey. Went to the Raiders-Chiefs game. Immediately after, went to support her other son, Jason, at the Eagles-Giants game. So shout out to her, man. Hell of a.
That's impressive. That's some commitment. That's a good mom right there.
I love her, man. She's the best.
She's great.
She really is. Really is. Well, with that being said, I think that is everything from Week 16. Everything from the Giants. I will say it will be depressing next couple of weeks for us, because once your team's out of playoff contention, really what
joys are left in football.
Yeah. So, we will. Let's see. I'm trying to think because I don't know how our schedule looks. I think tomorrow we might have an episode, maybe, depending on your schedule and mine.
Yeah.
We have our preview episodes on Friday.
That we can do. Definitely that. Free Friday.
Yeah. But there's just not much to look forward to, man. When your team's out, your team's out. But
yeah, it's gonna be be a rough couple weeks, and then we'll have playoffs, which will get us excited again because we don't have to watch the Giants lose anymore. Playoff stories, and then we'll try to roll from there.
All righty. Well, I think that'll do it for the Backup to the Backup podcast, episode number 13, I believe. Yeah, episode 13. We are on a moving. We on a moving. Well, thank you, Brian, as always. Thank you guys for watching and listening. YouTube, yes, subscribe to us on YouTube. Back to the Backup podcast. Find us on Spotify as well. And then we'll likely be back. Oh, I'll be back tomorrow. Brian is to be determined. He's questionable to return on tomorrow with a ankle injury. No, I'm just playing.
Exactly. Yeah, my ankle is bothering me. So
you'll be healthier than fucking Darren Waller was. I tell you that much.
Probably, yeah.
I tell you, just a mess right now. With him. But other than that, guys, just thank you again for. We'll see you guys then.